years before I was born, my family, a line crossed me and my family. So I was born in Los Angeles, and 100 years before I was born, LA was made. So I always say, I didn't cross the line crossed me. So part of being an artist is connecting to who you are and where you come from and where you're going. And I'm so proud to be 71. I am so happy to make it this far. And to still be an artist is really a trip, because somebody asked me the other day, so what does it feel like to be an artist? I said, I don't know what it feels like not being me. But my dad had a little memo pad, and I found one just like he had. He had a memo pad like this, and he always kept it in his pocket, and in his work shirt. And he always had a pencil. And I thought everybody's dad had a memo with a pen in it. And so when he wanted to explain something, he would just open it up and get the pencil, and he says, okay, well, you're going like this, and it looks like that. And I go, oh, okay, cool. That's a good thing. So I got the talent from my family, and when I decided to be an artist, it was a struggle, because my mom wanted me to be a math teacher, and I was okay with math. I love geometry, I love algebra, I love geometry, and my Platonic solids is my tribute to the geometry. I mean, if I can use a protractor, I am one happy camper. But calculus totally whipped my butt. And it was at that time, so there was a paradigm shift in math, and it was like, oh Lord, I'm studying really hard, and I'm barely getting a C, and I'm gonna be a teacher. Like, not a good thing. So I always took an elective, and the elective was drawing, life drawing, nude life drawing, freshman year in college. And my professor goes, oh, you should be an artist, you're very good at this. And I go, you want to talk to my mother? And so at the end of the year, I took the portfolio to my mom, and I said, Mom, I have to talk to you. I said, I'm going to change majors. She goes, oh yeah, what you going to change from? I go from math to art. She goes, oh. Why? I said, you're going to starve. It's not a respectable profession for a lady. You should do something else. She goes, promise me you'll teach. And I go, great, let's strike a deal. And God bless her. Thank God she convinced me to be a teacher. And the good thing is I love to teach. Thank you, God. So he made me a teacher, and he made me an artist, which has supported this journey that I've been on. And the journey changed when my husband, and I asked for a hanky, but I don't have one. So if anyone has a Kleenex, I know I'm going to need a Kleenex before I'm all through with this. So in 2016, my husband had a stroke. And I had to stop doing art to take care of him. And I didn't think I was going to do art again. But he got stable, and I'm still his 24/7 caregiver. And his stability has allowed me to plot and agree to do a show last year. I said, okay, I'll do a show. So the first entry is July 14th, 7:20 p.m. to 8:35 p.m. was when I started this body of work. And every time I went to the studio, I logged in when I went in there for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I said this would keep me honest, this accountability right here. And I said, I'm the little turtle, and if I can push the brush every day just a little bit, I think I can create a body of work for a show. And I also had detachment is a very good thing. So when you downsize and you have to get rid of a bunch of stuff, it's hard at first, but after it's very liberating. So I detached myself from the outcome of this journey. I said, if I make it 1 month, 2 months, if I make it to the end, it's God's just a grace that I make it that far. So that I got it to the installation was like, yay! And that I got to the opening, yay! And that all that traffic out there was like, what? I'm gonna get into the art talk, but I'm glad that I'm here to be able to present and represent a faith journey, which is what Katrina did for me. It was a crisis of faith. Your faith either grows or you lose it. You give up hope. But Katrina had my faith grow. My husband's illness has been another Katrina event, and it helped my faith to grow. So this work is about a faith journey, and I'm sharing that faith journey with you. And before Katrina, I did a labyrinth design, which is that labyrinth design over there. That's kind of modified. And it's called the Quinto Sol Labyrinth. And when I first did it, I did it on a piece of canvas, 26 feet by 26 feet. And it was in the back gallery, and you walked it. And I had many other pieces around. And I chose that specifically because it's the center of the Aztec calendar stone. And it's their creation story. And it's my creation story, so I appropriated that symbol to represent all the different creation stories of our own life, and remembering and reconnecting to my past. So I revisited it for this exhibit, and I put it on the wall. And my studio, when you all come to do the studio crawl on July, I think it's Saturday, July 27th, and you come to my studio, I live in a race house, which means that 8 years ago when the house was built, nobody lived at the bottom of the house because they knew where the water flooded. You lived upstairs. So after Katrina, the water was 4 inches from the hardwood floors upstairs. And my studio and everything else downstairs got all flooded because nothing was supposed to be there. So my studio is very low, and which it's really a trip to see these here because they look really good, this big old space. But I'm walking the Quinto Sol, and as I walked it, when I showed up to paint, how I felt, what was going on, was going to influence the color. And when I first started graduate school at UCLA, I got into graduate school doing figurative work. Well, the first week of graduate school, I go to my professor, I go, I don't want to do figures anymore. In fact, I don't even know what I want to do. And he goes, oh, don't worry about it. He says, just stretch 4 big canvases, 4 by 6 feet, and just put them around you. And you like to do black and white photography, just put those around and get your spray paint, your charcoal, and anything black and white, and just attack them, have fun. And what he did is he gave me permission to take that proverbial leap of faith to just trust your intuition of what you're going to do. And I became like a lyrical abstractionist, some organic, and through the years that has followed me through my work. And I thank Professor Stu C up in heaven, because I'm sure he's there, for giving me that leap of faith. And working in black and white and monochromatically for me, was very good because I could model form and not worry about the color. And as I progressed, I kept adding more and more colors. And I thought it was kind of interesting that this piece started off the same way. And that before, black always seemed like a negative thing. And I didn't want to use the color black. But black to me now has so many other connotations. And being that I am totally fascinated with the black hole, and I've been fascinated with the black hole, and now there's a picture of it, which is a whole other story, but I did a yarn painting over there of the black hole. I love that depth and space in the work. So I started off monochromatic, black and white, and as I progressed, I added the colors as whoever showed up that particular day. So this is the labyrinth, and if you enter it down through here. And a labyrinth is not a maze. A maze is designed so that you have some dead ends and that you get confused. But a labyrinth is you have one way in and one way out. And many times what you do, when I walked the labyrinth, the first one, I walked it at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco. And I was told that, you clear your mind as you enter, and then you wait for that small, still voice in the center as you come out to get an answer. And when I got out of that Grace Cathedral labyrinth, I went to the bookstore. I said, I want a book on grace. And they go, oh, well, we have books on forgiveness and mercy. I go, no, I want a book on grace. And they go, oh, we don't have a book on grace. I go, I had heard of grace, but I didn't know what grace was. Well, I know what grace is now. And it is God's favor, unearned, unmerited, that allows me to do the things that I do. And so that grace is really what this journey has been about. And as different things happened with my husband, and I told him I was going to FaceTime him, but I was embarrassed on what he would say. So I'm not sure if I'm going to FaceTime him or not, but because he's a jokester. He just loves, he would say something completely irreverent and just make you all laugh. So these are like different events that showed up on this faith journey to rewalking the Quinto Soul. And so the title of the piece is, if you're a caregiver, if you're in any situation where the vicissitudes of life, where the ups and downs of life show up, then you know that stuff just shows up. And so the paintings are titled Turn, or Change, or Vicissitudes, or Flow, and Backtrack, Ups and Downs, Empathy, Patience, and then the Knowledge of the Way is this one. And then the whole painting, and the painting in the back is called Rewalking the Quinto Soul Labyrinth. And I wanted that to be really the focal point for the exhibit. And it's been on the wall in my studio for a year. I've been working on it a year. But the last couple of months, these guys showed up. And I put the labyrinth on these canvases, and I decided to do just like those black and white paintings back in grad school, and just let the colors and the forms have it monochromatic inform the piece. And so I'm an old spray can painter from way back. I just love spray cans. And I can't spray paint in the studio, but Montana has a water-based spray paint that you can spray indoors and not kill yourself. So now I use those Montana water-based spray paints.